1. I work as a front desk receptionist in a 3-star hotel in the center of the city. 4 days ago, a young couple, 20 years old, checked in, and it was fine. They stayed for 3 days. On the last day, they had to take a train at around 6 p.m., so we kept their luggage until around 5 p.m. when they came to get it. They asked to use the bathroom next to the front desk, which is actually public, as in not only hotel guests can use the bathroom. First went the man, and then went the woman. 20 minutes later, they wave goodbye and leave. Now, I don't know about you, but I stand on my feet for 8 hours and I use the bathroom like once during my shift. Since I don't have a break during the 8 hours, so I have to leave the desk to go to the bathroom. I don't like leaving the front desk alone because people are stupid, and even with the big "be right back" sign, they keep calling the phone and they constantly complain, you know the drill. So I actually went to the bathroom before I usually do, and I found a phone. A phone that belonged to the young couple that left an hour ago. So I called them, and there's no answer. A few minutes go by, and they called. I pick up the phone, and since I recognized the number, I straight up said, "Hotel, yes, I found your phone." He was pissed. Turns out it was his girlfriend's phone. She went in after him, remember? I told him not to worry. We would keep the phone safe here. While I was explaining his options, come back or call a friend to get it, call his transport company, he hung up on me. Okay, he was stressed, whatevs. An hour later, she comes in, looking guilty AF. I give her the phone, she thanks me. I tell her it's nothing, and I wish her a happy day and a safe trip. Well, that was 4 days ago. Now, at the end of my shift, I get a message from pooping.com that reads, "We're the young couple that forgot the phone the other day. We ended up missing our train and had to get new tickets to get home. Since it was the hotel's fault for not letting us know as soon as we misplaced the phone in your property, we think we need compensation. If the hotel would have called us when we left the hotel to let us know that we left the phone, we would have made it on time. So what are you going to do about it?" Have I been working at the desk for that long? Or is this actually nuts? I mean, a young couple forgets their phone in a semi-public bathroom. I physically cannot go and check the bathroom every time someone comes in because, you know, I'm working. And now it's my fault? Really? They didn't even leave the phone in their room. I called them as soon as I found it, but someone else, another person or guest, could have found the phone. Would that be my fault too? Are these people too entitled, or have I really been working the desk for too long? I told my boss. She laughed. The guy messaged us again through pooping.com, and my boss basically told him that 1, it ain't our problem, basically. It's his fault, and his responsibility, and 2, he should be grateful instead of demanding a refund. Guy told my boss again that it was our fault, and my boss said, "You didn't thank us. You want a refund. I invite you to think about the absurdity of this situation," and that's it. Guy posted a comment, 9 out of 10, and said he'll be back. 2. Some background. This story involves a guest, a man in his 50s, and my colleague in their mid-30s, also male. I witnessed this from the back office. This story takes place outside of the US. Our legislation requires people staying in our hotel to fill in a registration form with a name, date of birth, nationality, contact info, and signature. Also, if someone is staying with you in the room, we require that person's name. The incident. As mentioned, I was in the back office because my shift had already ended, and I was preparing to go home. However, when this thing started to unfold, I decided to stay, in case the authorities were needed, so I could call them. I heard this guest coming to the front desk and informing my colleague that he would like to check in. "Good day, sir, and welcome to our hotel. Can I have your last name, please?" "Why would you need my last name? I'm checking in and I have a reservation." Of course, sir, but I would like your name or the confirmation number to be able to find your reservation. I don't have a confirmation number. Just check me in. I would love to, but I can't unless I have your name or confirmation number to be able to locate the reservation to check in.
This is ridiculous. My last name is Herr Poopyhead. Just give me the keys already.
Thank you, sir. We are almost ready. I'll print out the registration form so that you can fill in the details. I noticed that this was a 2-person reservation, so please write down the name of your roommate, please.
What? I won't be filling in any details.
He's already yelling and punching the desk.
I have never been told to fill in anything, and I have traveled across the world.
Sir, please calm down. It is our own country's law that the form is needed. We don't use the info on anything.
I won't fill this, and you don't need my wife's name.
He throws the paper, and at this moment I call security. Sir, calm down. If you don't fill the form, I can't check you in, unfortunately.
Bullshit. First you didn't find my reservation, and now you won't check me in because of this stupid paper. This is the shittiest place I've ever seen. Give me my keys, and I won't file a complaint on you.
Sir, I wasn't able to find your reservation because you didn't give me any details. There's no need for yelling. If you don't want to fill the form, I have to ask you to leave. I'll cancel your reservation without extra cost.
You know, I don't want to stay in this shithole. Give me your manager's name. I'll get you fired.
At this moment, the security guard came and escorted the guest out. He did end up calling the hotel manager and trying to get my colleague fired with no luck. I have to give 10 points to my colleague for staying calm and collected. In case you're wondering why I stayed hidden in the office, the reason is I didn't want to escalate the situation anymore. This has been shared with my colleague's approval. 3. So, amongst other things, I work at a small hotel in the Pyrenees. Right next to the hotel, and we don't know where, is a snake nursery, or birthing cave, or whatever the snakes call it. They are just Western whip snakes. They are effectively harmless, but they do have a grumpy and also a very optimistic attitude towards defense. They have a venom gland, but no front teeth and no real hope of hurting anybody. We don't see the adults up to 5 feet, just the kids. Pencil thick, 20 to 30 centimeters. But every year they are born and go out into the world with our hotel as their first stop. In a bad year, we might have over 100 little striky, bitey, skinny snakes invading the place. They can climb up the stone rendering, so sometimes appear on, for example, the 3rd floor in a room, or outside at the entrance, or in reception, or on reception. The bar top, under the bar stools, near the fridges, slithering down the cable to the lamps above reception. Lovely guys, bad attitude, but you know, not a danger. I know you want anecdotes. There aren't many, luckily, but I can come up with a few. Delivery guy comes up the stairs from -1.
Very funny, like the rubber snake at the bottom of the stairs there.
That's not a rubber snake.
A beer, please?
Not a problem, but oh, okay. A snake is coiled up under your bar stool and is looking interested in your swinging feet. How about I serve you at the sofas there? You'll be more comfortable. Guy walks out of the elevator into the bar area and stares at me while I'm serving people and running around. I notice and go over to him.
Hi, don't want to cause a fuss, but there's a snake this big.
He extends his fingers. In my room. A snake, really, wow. And I went up to remove it. That's it. Pay me, and let me get the fuck out of here. I can't work with snakes everywhere anymore. She stayed. Hi, do you guys do breakfast? Oh shit, a snake. As it came slithering around me, picked it up by the tail and walked it out into the forest nearby. Aussies love snakes. Or my favorite, where a couple are checking in and snake directly lands from above onto the reception bar top and slithers calmly over and around to the tray at the end of the bar, kinda behind reception, coils up and relaxes. The woman is going towards hysterical, "What the fuck is that?" "A snake," says the receptionist.
"A snake," says the husband with a shrug.
The receptionist finishes check-in as if the snake was normal in the box, wishes the client well, and calls somebody else to remove the little shit. Today was my day off, but yesterday a snake was spotted going behind the massive cables and shit that is behind the printers, the PC, the scanner, phone cables, and so on. I looked twice, pulling it all out, spotting the snake once, but it was gone in a blink. I know that either last night or today, live, the snake will decide to come out of there and perhaps molest another customer. Or receptionist. Or not, who knows? The more you know about them, the more they are kinda cute. But they always put on a show of biting and manage to jump when striking just enough to make inexperienced people wonder how safe the little shits are. The whole drama lasts for 2 weeks. This is the end of week 1. In 7 days, it will have worked out they can't pay for services and will have fucked off into the forest like they should. Next year, Mama will come back and breed again. Good times. 4. This just happened an hour ago, and I'm still randomly bursting into tears when I think about it. I'm a reservations coordinator, which I guess is similar to a supervisor. I got a call from a third-party booking agency today, and I'm like, great, I hate these. In our reservations department, there are only 2 reservation coordinators. We have no supervisors, and we have no managers. The only person who oversees us is our director of revenue, who is never around. They start with their usual spiel. "Hello? I'm so-and-so on a recorded line. The guest would like to cancel their prepaid, non-refundable reservation free of charge due to COVID. The reservation date was the 20th of September 2022. Now I will admit, I was unprofessional here. I said the guest is planning to have COVID until September 20th, 2022. Then I hear the nastiest, cattiest voice in the world. What the fuck kind of smart aleck reply is that? The stupid third-party agent didn't tell me they also had the guest on the line. I immediately say, "Good morning. Your reservation type is a non-refundable prepaid reservation, and we would only be able to waive the fee if you provide a COVID-positive test from a valid testing site. Unfortunately, we do not accept at-home COVID tests." She launches into a spiel about how she already threw away her at-home COVID test, how in her state of Massachusetts, there are no COVID drive-through testing sites and she can only get a COVID test from a hospital. Am I really encouraging her to go to a hospital and just get everyone sick? Will the hotel take responsibility for that? She also has cancer and deserves a vacation, but she can't go because she's sick. I try to let her know that you take certain risk when you book non-refundable prepaid reservations, and that's why the rates are always cheaper. She was like, "Don't forget you're on a recorded line and I will be contacting you with my attorney. Give me the name of your hotel general manager." Now our hotel general manager is always busy and will not answer phone calls. She is extremely upset now because I have no managers or supervisors. I try to use the excuse because you've threatened legal action, we can no longer respond to you and you would need to contact our legal team. She is like, "I'm a criminal science major and you need to state your legal team's contact information." I finally caved and approved the refund and reservation cancellation. I feel ashamed. I hate having entitled guests win. I want her blacklisted from every single hotel so she never gets her damn deserved vacation. I'm so sick of hospitality, I try to ask the third party to notify me next time when the guest is on the line. Of course, the guest was like, "Yeah, I bet you would like that." And they brushed me aside and said I have to take care of this guest now, and hung up. 5. I had the normal entitled assholes I always get. But today just took the cake, because I was yelled at 3 different times today. I work a swing shift, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., and I've always been a night owl, so I don't typically go to bed until about 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. and wake up around 1 to 1:30 p.m., depending on how tired or how well I sleep. I woke up to a phone call from my GM at 12 p.m. sharp. He had asked me last night if I could come in earlier, as he was covering part of a day shift. I assumed he was calling to follow up on that, and was a little annoyed to be woken up, but answered anyway. Instead, he asks if I had given a 1 p.m. checkout to anyone. I told him no, as per his rules we can only do a noon checkout unless we get permission from him. I then hear a woman yelling, "Put her on speaker," in the background, and he does. I have been awake for not even a minute, and this woman is yelling at me because I had given them a noon checkout, and housekeeping went into their room before then. They came back at 11:40 a.m., and the housekeeper accused them of smoking weed in the room. They might have smoked weed in the room, but her partner smelled like weed at check-in, so they could have just had strong-smelling weed on them. I'm really not sure. She comes down to speak to my manager after this, and is blowing up on him, saying she had a 1 p.m. checkout, and instead of going somewhere privately to call me, or even better, waiting until I get to work to ask me, he calls me in front of her and lets her yell at me for not logging their late checkout. The couple were a walk-in right before my shift ended, so I thought maybe I had forgotten to log it. Maybe I very rarely make mistakes like that, so I apologize, and she keeps going off at me while my manager just lets her. Not only am I woken up an hour before I normally get out of bed to be yelled at, but I'm an hourly employee, so I'm not even getting paid to be yelled at. Conversation finally ends, and I'm too upset to sleep anymore. I come into work early at 2:30 to find out all my log notes from yesterday's shift, including the late checkout time, did not save. So this wasn't even my fault. Plus, even if the notes did save, she thought she had a 1 p.m. checkout, so this same situation would have happened regardless. So that's the first time getting yelled at. Secondly, I check in a super shiny member and his partner around 4 p.m. He's grumpy for no apparent reason, and his partner is much more pleasant. I see that he requested only foam pillows, and after determining day shift did not tell housekeeping this, I say I will bring foam pillows up right after I check them in. They leave, I get the first few pillows made up, and go to check the desk again before finishing up. He's there alone, and he starts berating me because he booked a Riverview room, and we messed up his reservation and I better fix it. I look at the record history, and he booked a non-view room online himself. When I tell him this, he backtracks and says, "My coworker promised he had a Riverview room when he called yesterday," which is bullshit because 1, it literally says which rooms have a view in the description, and 2, if he asked to be upgraded then, she would have said it was an additional amount because we don't do comp upgrades at my brand. I say that we still have a few Riverview rooms available though, and start to break down the cost of what upgrading will be. It's literally $20 more to be on the riverside, and this guy clearly has enough money but demands a comp upgrade. I explain that our brand doesn't participate in the comp upgrades, and where to find that information on his app and the website. Dude doesn't care, just starts yelling at me, tells me he'll upgrade and make my manager give him a refund tomorrow. My manager is the one that enforces this rule, and I tell him as much, but he says, "He's never met me before." He then starts insulting me, saying I'm difficult, and he can't believe that the company I work for would hire someone like me anyways. He only calms down because his partner comes back from the restroom, and then he puts on his nice persona again. I got him to sign a new reg card agreeing the new rate, and they leave. I bring them their pillows, and luckily it's the woman who answers because I was near tears at this point. That's the second time getting yelled at. And then comes number 3. Gotta save the best for last. When I came in, my GM was checking in this guy older than dirt, and he was complaining that he doesn't have a top-floor room. No notes on his reservation requesting one, and he's not even part of our rewards program. He's clearly entitled, but nothing out of the ordinary. He comes back shortly after I get yelled at by the second person, because he can't get on the Wi-Fi because he is older than dirt, not because it isn't working. I fix it for him, and instead of thanking me, he starts complaining about the noise from the sea lions we have on the river. He has a balcony riverview room, and apparently it's our fault that they are noisy. For the record, most guests love the sea lions. I offer him earplugs. He says no, that's not the point. It's also like 4:30 at this point, so they aren't having issues sleeping or anything. I think that is the end of it. But shortly after 9 p.m., I leave the desk for a literal minute to grab something from the housekeeping area. I come back to see an old woman standing there. From her body language, I can tell she's just furious. I greet her, and she just starts screaming at me. The last two yelled at me, and it sucked, but this woman is screaming like a banshee. It's the old man's wife, and she's mad about the fucking sales making noise, saying how she paid to have a balcony but can't sit outside on the deck because of them. She goes on for 5 minutes screaming at me for not answering her phone call a second ago. And when I explained I had only stepped away for a moment to grab something, she screamed that she didn't fucking care, and how I better answer the phone as soon as she calls every time. She then says her thermostat isn't working. We have old thermostats on the walls that need to be removed, but we have a heater and AC unit beneath the window that works. I explained this, and she said it doesn't work either. Yet they were in the room for almost 7 hours and haven't said anything about it until now. And when I apologized and offered to send up her maintenance staff, she literally throws these papers that she has in her hands in the air like a goddamn child while screaming, "No!" Then she storms to the elevator, and once it closes, she opens it again to continue screaming at me, how she isn't a fucking Karen, and starts insulting me again. Finally leaves. And I just go into the back office and cry because I can't hold it in any longer. I'm so tired of being these people's punching bag. I worked so hard for not nearly enough money, comparably to what my property makes in a day. I work solo almost exclusively and get to listen to rich assholes complain, berate, and insult me because of the dumbest reasons. I get being frustrated or irritated with stuff, I really do. But I don't understand how someone can behave in the way these people do. I've been working front desk for almost 9 years now, and I'm honestly thinking it's time to find a new industry. I'm so tired. People complain that nobody wants to work anymore in these low-paying, crappy customer service jobs. Meanwhile, they treat us like trash and expect us to just accept it and thank them for their business. It's just ridiculous, and I'm getting so sick of it. We're human beings. We don't deserve to be treated the way they treat us. Sorry for the long rambling rant, just needed to get this off my chest. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Coahw, episode 95. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Before you go, if you could please hit the like button and share the video with a friend or family member. Right, let's see, this is a Tuesday, yeah? I think so. Yes, it is. Tuesday. Before we go on, I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone who gave me well wishes on my birthday yesterday. It meant a lot to me, and it 100% brightened my day. I must say it really did. Okay, let's see. Now, I don't think there's any other shout-outs to do today, so we'll move right along to Hellfreezer's question of the day. And today's question is, what is something that when you were a kid, you learned in TV shows or movies, that only when you were an adult and you experienced something of the world yourself, you realize doesn't really happen? Like how in television shows and movies, when you're inside a loud club, you can easily chat to your friends and be perfectly heard. Or in fiction, they'd have you believe that hacking is a very exciting thing done by very handsome people, and there's always back doors. when in reality it's a lot of patience, a lot of time, repetition, probably farting, and a lot of snacks. Let me know what some of your favorites are in a comment below. Okay, and with that, I'm gonna head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourself.